Cancer, this is Mimi with Divination by Mimi. Welcome to your December 2017 tarot reading with, I say a little bit of astrology, but I tend to be going on because there's a lot of energy happening in December. A little bit of astrology and oracle if necessary. This is a general reading, so be sure to check your ascendant, your moon, and even maybe your Venus to see if there's any more clarification. So if it doesn't resonate, you might be better doing a private reading, and feel free to email me. That's email address is in the description box below the video. We'll set something up. Thank you very much for your likes and your shares and your subscribes. It really means a lot. The channel's growing. And for those of you that have booked a reading with me, I'm really appreciative and really grateful that you put the trust in me to be part of your life's journey. It means a lot. So thank you. If you know someone you think this might help, share it with them. Just more knowledge is better, especially with all the activities this month, and I'm about to get into it. So here we go. Firstly, on the 1st of December, there is kind of a difficult aspect. Well, it can be difficult. There is a powerful aspect occurring on the 1st, which is a direct opposition between Mars in Libra, the 7th house, right opposite, 180 degrees opposite, no, with Uranus in retrograde in Aries in the 1st house. What does this mean? Mars, the god of war, is making this opposition with Uranus. That is the god of anything can happen at any time, instant change, progression, and the collective. It rules Aquarius. So Uranus rules Aquarius. It is about progress. It is about innovation. It is about sudden change, shaking things up to keep them from going stagnant, and progress. Very much about progress. As it rules Aquarius and the 11th house, it is about the collective, others in your environment, others, how we affect others and how others affect us. Mars, ruler of Aries, the 1st house being about the I am, the assertion of the individual. It is making the fiery opposition. So on a positive note, this can manifest itself in progress because that fiery energy of Mars is feeding that air sign, that air quality, and the fast-moving and unpredictable, frenetic, well, not frenetic, but unpredictable energy of Uranus and progressive energy of Uranus. So it's kind of like, I don't know, see a bunch of dry leaves, and you know how sometimes you'll use a magnifying glass to get the sun to make an indirect kind of fire starter into the leaves. This aspect would be kind of like taking a lighter to those leaves. So it really makes it fast. It speeds up progress. It speeds up innovation. Okay, so for example, the holidays are approaching. This might be the holiday season where personal robotics and artificial intelligence have dropped to a consumable price point that the holidays see us, at least in the first world, flooding our homes with all sorts of robotic things. Kind of like a few years ago they did it with drones. Gross. But now you might, you know, the iRobot or the Roomba, you know, the little vacuum thing, that kind of thing. A lot more of that kind of thing is going to potentially drop to a price point that is consumable by many more people than just a few rich. That's the kind of progress I'm talking about, or a cure for a disease. Okay. On a negative note, it could be lots of arguments, and there's a couple of other aspects that would feed that. So again, we're looking at Mars, ruler of Aries, the 1st house, the assertion of the individual will, versus Uranus, which is the ruler of Aquarius, the 11th house, which is the collective, you and the other and you, how it affects, that kind of thing. So we might be looking at arguments of the assertion of the individual will versus the assertion of the collective will. You might see this play out on the world stage, okay? And individually in your life, you know, is somebody asserting their will, like, I'm going to go golfing on Saturday, but Saturday is the only day the family can get together. That's the polarity that I'm talking about here. So it could be good, it could be bad. A lot of it depends on how you handle it, hence the reports. Moving right along, that is the 1st, which is a Friday. On Saturday and into Sunday, a square is occurring between Mercury and Saturn. And that's going to be exacerbated. So a square is a difficult energy. it causes problems. It makes things difficult. It's a 90-degree square. Okay. On the 3rd, Mercury goes retrograde. So that's going to be weird for all of us. I mean, we expect certain things with Mercury retrograde. Communication to not be clear, all the information to not be there, technology to fail. But then you couple this with that opposition of Mars and Aries, or Mars and Uranus that I just mentioned a moment ago, and the square of Saturn with Mercury going retrograde. This kind of exacerbates the difficulties that, say, someone ruled by Mercury would feel. So if you have a lot of intense Mercury in your chart, particularly at, say, 11 degrees, if you have a lot of activity around 11 degrees in the 3rd house, or the 9th house, then not 11 degrees, but if you have any kind of aspect like that, it could affect you. And it really can affect our Mercury-ruled friends like Virgos and Geminis. So they're going to not only feel the normal obstacles of a Mercury retrograde, but they're not going to be able to use their problem-solving skills, you know, their left brain thinking problem-solving skills to overcome that because of the restrictive nature of Saturn. So, for example, if there's problems with the internet, which is almost probably going to be guaranteed on that day when Mercury begins to go retrograde, you might call your Virgo or your Gemini friend over, and then they might need to help you rehook something up. Well, they won't be able to find the instructions, or power will be out, so they won't be able to see, or there won't be batteries for the flashlight to get under the stereo or whatever it is they're working on. That's the restrictive nature of Saturn meeting up with that. So I just give them some love, because it's going to be depressing. They love solving problems. They love thinking and analyzing things. And with the inability to overcome obstacles with that skill, because of the restriction of Saturn, it's going to kind of make them depressed. And that's probably going to last the first couple of weeks of the month. So be kind to your Virgo and Gemini friends. All right. Also on the 3rd, and this is all on the 3rd, by the way. 1st, 2nd, now we're on the 3rd. A full supermoon in Gemini at 11 degrees is occurring. So that means that the moon is at 11 degrees in the 3rd house. And because it is a full moon, this means that there's a direct opposition with the sun, which is at 11 degrees in the opposite mutable sign of Sagittarius. So this is the 3rd house talking to the 9th house at a direct opposition, 11 degrees. By the way, Mars and Uranus are also at 11 degrees. So it's a full moon, it's a super moon, it's in Gemini, it's in the 3rd house, so it's communication. And the retrograde highlights communication too. So it's all about communication. And communication as it relates to different cultures, borders, immigration. This is on a collective stage. For you, it might be different people, boundaries, things like that. What else? Oh, and then on that day as well, again, Sunday the 3rd, there is a beautiful harmonious aspect occurring, which is, again, at 11 degrees of each sign. At 11 degrees of Pisces, 12th house, the sign is Neptune, the ruler of Pisces and the 12th house. The planet, or the energy of anything is possible. There are no borders. There's nothing between this world and the next. There's nothing between you and me. We're all one. It's all magic, okay? There's that aspect making a harmonious aspect with Jupiter, ruler of Sagittarius, in the 8th house at this point in time. They're making a trine. It's a very positive conversation. It's like a kiss and a hug. And that energy, Jupiter, is expansive. So you're looking at anything can happen big. Great day for magic. If you're a magic practitioner, this is the day, and again, it's a full moon, so this is a day you want to, set intentions that you would on a full moon. If you want to, I don't know, get out of debt, make that your intent, just as an example. Again, don't take me at value by my words here, just throwing it out there. If you want to get out of debt, you want to get rid of something, you want to get rid of smallpox, whatever, you would write your spell to get rid of smallpox, and it would make miraculous things happen and expansive. It makes them bigger. So it's great. So great energy. If you're not doing magical work, but say you're just doing creative things like writing prose, composing music, sculpting, painting, sketching, writing a book, things like that. Good day to do it. It will be productive and fruitful because of that harmonious trine. So manifestation and creativity in any form, whether magically, supernaturally, or in the natural world, which we all know is the same. And I think that's it for the 3rd. So that's a lot of shit going down on Sunday the 3rd. Full supermoon, Mercury retrograde, square with Saturn for your Virgo and Gemini friends. Still dealing with that opposition between Mars and Uranus. And then the beautiful trine. So I think what my best advice for that day is for Sunday the 3rd, is stay off social media to avoid arguments and frustrations with the communication and technological problems that come with some of the aspects. Use that time to create, whether it's magically, supernaturally or naturally. All right. I think that's it for that day. So moving on to the next big thing, which would be on the 18th, there is a new moon. So this is a dark moon, a seed planting. I think it's called balsamic. I'm not sure. I don't have my book in front of me, but I believe that's what it's called. It's the dark of the moon. It's the time when you, rather than get rid of things like smallpox, you actually bring things to you. So this is the time, if you're going to work magic, that you plant your seeds of intention. I want more financial abundance, so you do your spell work for that. This is occurring in Sagittarius, the 9th house. Once again, this is about, on a collective, this would be about other cultures, about travel, about borders, immigration, education, too. Expansion of your horizons, whatever that means to you. On an individual level, this means something similar. So this could mean, would be related to things as it relates to your borders, your boundaries, your friendships with other cultures, your view of the world. So maybe, let's say you want to fruit something or bring something to you that involves travel, or you want to start school. This is a good day to start making those intentions. Okay. And then let's see, that's on the 18th. On the 21st, that's the winter solstice, and that's the day that Saturn returns to its home planet and home sign and home house. So Saturn has been in the 9th house, and you've probably seen on a collective wave this on the world stage. Remember, the 9th house has to do with borders, immigration, different cultures, travel, and education. The other, right? With Saturn's restrictive rules and regulation energy, we've seen things like travel bans, increased security at airports, demonizing the immigrant as being the source of all problems, that kind of thing, okay? It's been there, and it's been evident from Brexit to our current circus that's in DC to the fear-mongering fascist party that almost took office in France, to the one that's actually running things in Greece at the moment. That wave of distrust of the other, distrust of immigration, distrust of the immigrants, of different cultures, restricting energy on the other, restricting energy on learning about the other, restricting energy on traveling to the other. That makes sense? Now it's moving into the 10th house. Okay, 10th house is about, for an individual, like a Capricorn, right? It's good. It's about honing the skills and honing, pruning to close to perfection, a reputation. So for Capricorns, they're going to feel very empowered because they're used to the restrictive energy of Saturn. They're going to feel as though they're just being groomed, in a sense, for their better self, and they will be. It'll be very positive for them in their nature. On the world stage, we're looking at, and there's a lot of different opinions on this collectively. Some people feel that the Saturn moving into the 10th house is bad. I tend to be Pollyanna, and I think it's good, and this is why. In most of the first world, we have no government, legislative, legal oversight over regulatory agencies that are supposed, I'm using the US as an example, but I'm sure it's evident in any part of the neoliberalist world, which is everywhere. There is no oversight to protect the consumer, the citizen. Okay, nothing that stops business and keeps them in check. Now, I know if you don't support a free market and you support regulation on business, you're immediately thought of a communist. Call me what you want. I think regulation and oversight is good. I'll give you an example. Let's say, and it's happened before, let's say the CEO of Eli Lilly buys a congressman or congresswoman, and in turn, the favor he expects is a nice placement at the head of the FDA. Now, Eli Lilly is a pharmaceutical company. The FDA is the Food and Drug Administration, an oversight organization to protect and serve the taxpayers, citizens, consumers of the United States from money-making interests. So as you can see, it's a conflict of interest. Another example, I don't pay attention because it's just depressing to do so to our current administration, but Rex Tillerson is the head of Exxon, an oil company, and he's been put in the place of either Department of Defense, he's the head of the Department of Defense, or he's the head of the Department of State. One or the other. We all know that that wars against terrorism are translated into wars for oil, the non-renewable, planet-destroying substance that we bow down to and suck ass for on a regular basis. He's been the head of the Department of Defense and the Defense Secretary, meaning he calls the shots on who we go to war with. Now, if you notice, we tend to go to war with places that are oil rich, and we make really sleazy deals with countries that are oil rich. So, and it's supposedly the source of terrorism, right? Putting that man in that position, I'm sorry, I'm getting on a soapbox here, but putting that man in that position does nothing to serve the United States. It serves oil interests. That's the kind of thing that I'm hoping Saturn moving into the 10th house will force regulation, the rules and regulation, the restrictive energy of Saturn onto that business world so that banks cannot charge whatever they want to, right? So that the Wall Street cannot run any way it wants. So the SEC has some tooth so that Bernie Madoffs don't exist anymore. Okay? And so that the head of a pharmaceutical company that, I don't know, creates oxycodone can't be head of the FDA. Make sense? Okay. So I think that's good. And then the final aspect, I know I've gone on and on, but that's what that means. It's a restrictive energy brought to a world that has to do on a collective level with business, courts, governments, churches, institutions like that, okay? On an individual level, this might have you being extra careful when you're writing your checkbook. So if in the past you've been able to watch a check float for a long time and make it just in time, with Saturn returning to that sign or that house, oh, when you write the check for this day and you send it in the mail, it will be deposited straight away and you'll come back with a return check. I'm just giving an example. I'm not saying that's what you do, or I know it's what I've done, but it's what people can, you know, when they're in a tight budget situation, they might do something like that. Saturn returning to the 10th house is going to be like, oh, yeah, no. Or let's say you make your payment late on your credit card, and normally they waive the late fee or they let it go past the 72-hour mark. Not with Saturn there. It's going to be right on the money, right on the dot. You get the fee. We've waived too many fees in the past. You have to eat this one. That's Saturn. Oh, going on again on this one. Sorry. Last aspect of interest, and then we'll get into your reading. This has been a long one. I apologize. Is Mercury does finally go direct on the 23rd. So after being retrograde for that period of time, we'll start to, when it starts to station to go direct again, we'll start to feel some relief from the technological hiccups. We'll be getting into a period where it's safe to go buy a car, that kind of thing. And that's it astrologically that I can think of that's on my mind right now, because there's a lot going on in December, and this is why it's been 20 minutes of me jabbering about astrology. But now let's get into your reading. I'm going to be doing a 3-card pull based upon the top 3 placements or the supernal triangle of your respective tree of life. If you say follow the Kabbalistic tree of life, this would be the top 3 Sephira, Keter, Hokmah, Binah. If you follow the Kemetic tree of life, this would be the top 3 placements, Amina, Sur, Tahuti, and Sekert. If you follow Jungian theory, this would be superconscious, conscious, and subconscious, and that's the analogy I'm going to use. I'm using the Morgan Greer deck, which is a Rider-Waite-Smith-based deck. It's just bright colors and interesting graphics. I like this deck a lot. So. This is the reading for Cancer, Cardinal, Water Sign, Moon Baby, ruled by the moon, for December 2017. What does Cancer need to know? Moon Baby, ruled by the moon, ruler of the 4th house of home, family, the mother of the zodiac. Motto is I feel. Very emotional, very empathic, water sign, intuitive. Ruled by the moon, full supermoon on the 3rd. This reading is for Cancer, December 2017. Holy Hecate, Titaness, Creatrix of the universe, Mother. What is Cancer? Moon child, ruler of the 4th house, the mother of the zodiac, water sign, cardinal, initiator. What does Cancer need to know for December 2017? Holy Hecate, cosmic, thank you. Message is not coming or coming in an unpleasant fashion or going. That's super conscious or the God source coming to you with that information. Conscious mind, another reversal. Ace of Pentacles. Subconscious mind. The defeat card. 5 of Swords, but in reverse. So, I think we're going to need clarification for you. Sorry, it's going a long time. I'll try to make it fast here, but there's either something you need to communicate, and it looks like it's either to a group of people or to a particular person. And it may have something to do with health. Because Pentacles can represent finances, and they do stuff and things in the manifested world. But in this case, it also can mean health. Okay? So there may be something that you're not sharing. Yeah. There's something either financially or health-wise that you've been reluctant to share for fear of arguments. Because it's all in reversal. I am going to seek clarification with the Thoth deck, but especially here. There's something you've been reluctant to share for fear of arguments or because it's caused arguments in the past. Or you'll feel defeated. Holy Hecate. What do you mean here by, whoa, sorry. What do you mean here by this Ace of Pentacles in reverse? What message is either, thank you. Huh, are you pregnant? Empress, Major Arcana. The Lovers, a relationship, Major Arcana. Wow, Magus in reverse. Being deceitful. Not using your power the right way. In other words, the Magus is gifted with several things. The Magician. In reverse, this is his lower octave, which is misusing his power and his intellect. Yeah, misusing it. The other things that you got were the Valor card, 7 of Wands. The Pisces card, the Knight of Cups. And yet again, the disc, this is the disc, which is the same as the Ace of Pentacles in reverse in the Thoth deck. Yeah. So, there's a relationship that you're in here. And I think Either you are pregnant or you're feigning pregnancy to keep the relationship. And it's possible it's with a Pisces. Or actually, the lower octave of Pisces, again ruled by Neptune, can be deception. It looks like you're lying to your partner and that you want desperately for this relationship to work out, to last, to go the long haul. You desperately fear being thrown to the curb. You desperately fear it being over, or yeah. So you're either misusing misinformation, lying to your partner, lovers, that you're pregnant. This is in the upright, so it doesn't necessarily mean you're pregnant. It could be something creative as well. But it feels like you're claiming that you're pregnant and you're not, or you are pregnant and you're not telling them. If it's not health related, these pentacles, again, the Ace of Pentacles twice in reverse, forget it, it's obvious. Then it is something to do with finances. So you might be siphoning money off the house budget. It's definitely a relationship. Firstly, your Cancer, that's the 4th house, it's relationships. It's the lovers in the upright, this is a coupling. Could be a decision as well, but again, everything else sort of says, yeah, it looks like pregnancy to keep a relationship going, and you're using deceptive measures to do that. You're either pretending you're pregnant and you're not. You are pregnant and you're not telling them. Or you are trying to get pregnant and you're being deceptive in your practices, i.e. forgetting to take your pill. Whoops. Or punching a hole in the condom. Sometimes Cancer is all about relationships, family, children, but love, big time love. 4th house, right? It's your nature. You're the mother and the lover. Sometimes it blinds us, though. I'm a Cancer ascendant, and sometimes it makes us blind when something's not good. So you really want this to work out. So you're kind of going by any means necessary. I'm going to make this work out. Otherwise, if I don't take this deceptive measure of getting myself pregnant, pretending I'm pregnant, or not telling someone I'm pregnant, I'll be out on the street. I can feel that the relationship will end. So you haven't been communicating the truth, and you need to. Because if something is not meant to be, there's no need in creating more havoc in it. If something doesn't happen and nurture and grow naturally, then let it be. That means something better is on its way. If it's not happening naturally, don't force it. Don't use deceptive practices. Again, I'm sorry, it seems like just be honest with yourself and your partner. And this is potentially just your fear. It's going to end if I don't do something, say something, no matter what it is, even if it's lying about something or not, or of omitting information about something. This could also mean venereal disease. So although this is the Empress in the upright, usually on the down side of that, or the low octave of that, it could be something related to promiscuity, or feminine wiles being used to pull in someone in a manipulative way, or venereal diseases. So it could be something where maybe you're HIV positive and you're afraid if you tell them that you'll lose them. That kind of thing. But yeah, whatever it is, whether it is the high octave of the Empress and it involves childbirth or pretending there, either way, it's deceptive to try to make a relationship work because you have a fear you're going to be kicked to the curb. You're not acting on your best self in your best way. So stand back and look at it and see. I hope that helped. Sorry, Cancer. All my readings seem to be preachy, so I apologize if they are. If this didn't resonate, or you have questions about it or comments about it, leave them in the comment section below, or email me. If you'd like to book a reading, especially, email me at mimimemes@hotmail.com. That email address is in the description box below. Otherwise, I'll see you for the lunation videos, and then I will see you next year. Holy shit, for the January 2018 reading. So Cancer, you take care. Do what, just be honest. Things will naturally fix themselves, and have a happy holiday season. Bye.